as I'm sure Dennis is familiar with, typically when you have a plan that has requested modifications, you see in the minutes that those modifications were approved. I didn't see that anyplace. So I guess it's just unclear at this time as to, modifications for lot width and front yard depth and side yard depth, etc.
I have a question on all of this too. And again, honestly, maybe I'm spoiled having an acre of property and being spaced out.
Sure.
Even outside of that, usually lots have a 50-foot off the road, minimum 15 feet. I mean, this is like, it's like being a tenement.
Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna-
Oh, they that close.
It's gonna be like 15
7
feet between
feet.
the houses.
Oh my
What's the difference
goodness.
in the zoning?
Yeah.
If you're in the, it depends on the zoning, if you're in R1 and the R3, the R1 is spread out more. The R3 gets more denser. When they put PRDs in, they clump houses together.
So,
Yeah.
where have, out of curiosity, do you know of any PRD that looks like this, that are that close?
And-
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
And people buy them?
Oh, yeah.
Lori, and some of the other municipalities that
Yeah.
that we work in, typically we don't see a side yard setback less than 10 feet. And the main reason for that is it ensures that you have at least 20 feet in between the houses, which, in theory, you could get an emergency vehicle in between the houses to the rear of the lot if you had to.
And that's not even that, you're not getting that with
We're only
their
gonna have
request was less than that.
15 feet here, and, that's the side yard setback. Of course, you get HVAC units that sit alongside of a house, and, it could be even more narrow than that, in terms of emergency access, so, just in my opinion, I have my reservations with a side yard setback of less than 10 feet, but, that's what they've requested as part of this plan, 7.5 for a total of 15, potentially, at the minimum.
That's another zoning variance issue.
Mhm.
Because if it says 10 feet and you're asking for 7.5, you have to get variances for that.
The side yard setback in the RD district is 20 feet. So, you would have 40 feet in between houses that follow the normal RD, zoning requirements. As Harold mentioned, this is a PRD, so they have some flexibility to establish their own, requested setbacks.
R2 is 15 and 15.
The size of the yard affect their insurance rates?
Not that I know.
What'd you say, John? I'm sorry.
R2, the side setback is 15.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that. They're in the RD, rural development
Well,
district.
and the minimal lot size
Yeah.
was 75-foot frontage and 150-foot deep. That was minimal lot size set in that particular district. Now, if it's more rural, your setbacks were greater.
Yeah.
And just like Harold, I think R3, they're tighter, but not this 7.5 feet.
Yeah, so you could be right. R2 could be 15. If
Yeah,
RD is 20.
and then what was it? It's 30 feet according to the township, but I always set a house back 40 feet because in theory, you can't park two cars in 30 feet without being in the right of way.
Or put a front porch on it or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did they want, 20 feet off the road, right?
I thought he said 15.
Front yard depth is 20 feet.
20
yeah.
feet.
20.
20
That's,
feet off.
that's
That's
nice.
Wow.
That's like living in
Yeah.
a town, that's like living in a tenement.
You'll see it right off of 88, right up that whole
And the
hill.
thing is,
Wouldn't that
what
look good?
If you've got 15 feet between houses and one catches on fire,
Fire.
you're just gonna keep
It'll
going.
take the whole
Good.
development out.
Yeah.
It'll make his town look beautiful. All them matchboxes on that hillside. I can't wait.
I grew up in the city and we had more property than that.
There's a plan in Cecil off of McMurray Road, West McMurray Road, Traditions of America,
Mm.
5 feet.
Huh?
Oh, God.
It scares me.
I don't think people care about yards anymore, they don't, they just live in the
Yeah.
house.
Most of South Park Mobile estates have more room than what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Most of South
But,
Park
but,
Mobile
but when you have
estates.
town, you have
Yeah.
in townhouses,
Right.
you live right up
Is
against.
it different?
But this isn't
I'm not
townhouses.
living in a
This is a
25
house.
townhouse.
Well, I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter. It's different.
John is saying it's
Because
right,
when you
people
put the 5
don't
feet
want.
together,
But,
you got 10
but, I
feet
mean, even
anyway.
where my parents' place is, the, patio home, there's
It's
three together common wall,
Mhm.
but the property around it is like crazy.
Yeah.
Compared to what this is. And, you know, you're moving into something where you want less upkeep and, you know, for that purpose for there, but not as your single family home.
When I was in the city, I had 20 feet, I think, between the two houses. There were steps that went back in the back.
Mhm.
Boy, that was tight.
Oh, there was 20?
Yeah.
What are we talking here?
Yeah,
15?
that's what I
I
said.
grew
I know.
I grew up in Brookline and we had a lot of space. It was really
I guess I
spacious.
got spoiled in my mother's neighborhood growing up too then.
Pushing between them houses.
No, we couldn't.
R2's 10. R3 zoning district is 7.5 side. R2 is 10.
So they're compliant there.
And R3.
Well, they're in
would be-
RD, which is 20.
That's the tightest residential.
Which is really townhomes and things like that for R3.
But
You
what
can
do you
put
want?
townhomes in R2 too.
Yeah.
But Harold, he's right, you're right, if he wants this stuff, he has to ask for variance.
He's gotta ask for variances.
We
There's-
can't-
Or have it approved as
This
part of
is
the
a-
conditional use.
Yes.
Did,
No.
let me ask you, this thing's so convoluted. I mean, I don't, it's like every time you got boxes of stuff, was the Michelle, you know everything down here, I gotta give you a lot of credit.
Yep.
Conditional, was there a conditional use granted for this project? I don't think there was, was there?
2019.
With a different developer,
That was,
Renzo.
With a different developer.
so what does the findings of fact?
He's still involved, but he's no longer the developer.
So what does the
He's still
findings of fact
involved.
conclusion of law say in 2019? Was that it, part of it?
Did they file it?
Was there a written findings of fact and conclusion? Do we have that?
No.
They never did those. For
They don't
nothing.
do written findings of fact and conclusion?
No.
I do that all the time.
The only one I ever saw, Dennis, was yours on the Macintosh.
Wow.
I'm telling you, the only one I ever saw was
There's
his
a-
he
there's a
did for the
board in there of
Macintosh.
all the stuff that was-
None of these
So
well
you have-
pads.
I hate to be a pain, but you have a chance.
When
I
you
was
say that, you
mopping
know what
earlier
she's
today, I
gonna
want
do.
you to know, I put all these chairs out, moved those
She
tables
did.
and mopped the floor.
Yes.
Off the record, like I said, if we need information. You and I talked about this other day. You know, some people say, you know, we call you to
I
find
told
information.
TJ that CCAN's like a pinata, if you shake it, you can the falls out. Now, what does he need back to that? What do you need?
Findings, see, there's a, in 2019, the township approved findings of fact, approved the conditional use. Was there a FOF, findings of fact, and conclusions law issue?
You want to bet?
I'll guarantee you there wasn't that.
Because anytime I have a condition, I always put that stuff down.
I think everything that we have
There
from
wasn't any
Middle
of
Beach is
that
in
done
that
when I was on the board with them.
banker's box.
I know it wasn't done.
Well, she can check
Okay,
it
you know,
out.
2019.
They didn't do it.
You know, the impression I get is you had your meeting, and they had to get something together, and they just hurried up and put this stuff together and sent it.
Oh no, it took them a long time to scheme their little
Well, I'm
to
just
make
saying,
everything
but
so
that's what this
complicated.
looks like.
It's crazy.
I think it's a cartoon.
Ah.
You know, it
With
looks
all
like-
the,
Well, the guy should have,
All the
got
things that
recorded
we-
in 90 days, that's where he messed
Yep.
up.
He should have done what he was.
But then you're totally.
It's too late.
Exactly.
It's a mess.
But you know what, we'd just be cleaning up messes, that's all, I guarantee.
Well, you're still playing.
So,
Well, we're
let's-
cleaning up,
let's-
we are
but
cleaning up messes.
it's like-
Let's
But
work
But
on
at
the
this point, we're gonna clean up, make it the right way.
let's work on the hypothetical. For instance, if they would record the subdivision or whatever you call this thing.
So he is still involved, he's just not the developer.
So the question is, say that he did record the approved whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be-
Well, we probably would have been challenged by now based on the private nature of the road. I would guess when they, started excavating to move dirt on the high and low side of Walter Long
There
Road,
have
I'm
been
sure the
injunctions.
Longs would have, probably
Filed an injunction.
brought that to the township's attention in, some manner.
Or if they got further along, I'm sure if people started buying the houses, there would be lawsuits for
Well, you can't-
something, and we would be involved in those lawsuits.
Well,
Mhm.
if you're buying the property, say Longs don't do anything, then when you would buy the property, if you had an attorney that do what, the problem is, a lot of times nowadays, you don't have attorneys searching titles, you have people that are, I don't know what the hell they
Title
are.
searcher.
They're not, so they just, I'm serious, I mean, that's the trend now, they gotta get people that don't search the title to see what's going on. But an attorney, if they're doing the due diligence, would have said, you have a problem here, I can't issue title insurance. Alright, so,
That's my list.
What about at the bottom of Walter Long
Yeah,
Road? Traffic light, turning lane,
That
That's-
would probably, that would be part of the HOA.
that's right.
HOP.
That,
you're right, Lori.
but the traffic study that was issued by CDC back in 2019, I think back then they said they didn't see a need for, I don't think they saw a need for.
There wasn't a Tractor Supply, a Subway, or another housing plan.
that's just where I was going with that.
There you are, buddy.
I don't know if they were
What
approved,
has
but this is
changed
what they
since that?
requested, your setback.
Listen to me. A Tractor Supply, that Subway, and the antique place next door. I used to, but I used to own the Subway store. We had a lawnmower shop. You know how much traffic we had?
Trying to squeeze more homes.
How much traffic goes to Subway?
Where'd you find this at?
Now then, next door you got the mechanic thing, and then you got Werner, but he doesn't do a lot. Dollar General. Wait, that might have been there. But then you got Scarmazzi with how many homes?
Yeah, it's piling up there.
That wasn't there.
It is.
None of
They
it.
had a different engineering firm, CEC.
Thank you. Because I'm not sitting up there, and I couldn't suggest it, but I wanted to hear it.
2019, they requested 125.
There you go.
Can you make us a copy of this?
You know, I don't let originals out of here.
And now they have 175, so 50 more houses.
What?
Well,
Is that
they,
it?
so they start their lots at 101, Darrell.
101, okay.
So they've got 75 in phase one, and they're proposing 37 in the future phase, which is 112 total.
So, okay.
But Larry's point's a real good one.
Uh-huh.
Short of having a approved HOP, the township has no assurances that PennDOT has been made aware and approved certain traffic counts and, made a determination whether or not we've talked in this group before about traffic on 88 and whether a turning lane is required and whether a traffic light is required.
That might, 2019, there was no Tractor Supply there.
Right.
There
No.
was no Scarmazzi there.
No.
Now the whole circumstance changed.
Mhm.
So they're gonna need to have a new traffic impact study.
The Tiki Bar wasn't like it is now either.
No,
The Tiki Bar is crazy.
yeah.
There's something else that's not addressed here.
What did I miss, John?
The only solid piece of ground is where the structure of the beach they're tearing down. From the structure uphill, that's strip mine,
Hmm.
all the way around the damn thing. And you're gonna build on it without a compaction test? Plus, usually from the county, they send in a letter,
Yes.
it's mined out underneath there. Even these lots up through here, this was stripped up through here.
So
So it's like, okay, you gotta build on it.
in 2019, they did, from what I've seen, they did do a geotechnical report. When it comes time to issue a grading permit, for this site, one of the notes in that letter will be requiring that they strictly adhere to the findings of the geotechnical report that was done for the site. And yeah, certainly there's
Because
extensive concerns with.
From the beach area, actually, the bottom of the pool sits on the coal seam.
Yeah.
I've been told that, and it's been strip mined around it and so forth. Further up on the hill, it's tunneled, room and pillar. And the further up you go, the safer you are. And then, quite possibly, one part of this site might even be, a construction material dump.
Mm-hmm,
What?
up on the hill, a dump.
It's a, yeah, brick block,
Oh, geez,
asphalt.
come
Seriously, it is.
So,
on. I believe it.
I guess my last point on Larry's question. I've driven up Walter Long Road a few times now. I find it interesting that the driveway to Tractor Supply is offset from Walter Long Road. I think
Mhm.
that's gonna make
I
it
thought so
problematic
too.
to ever put a traffic light there, because I don't,
Mhm.
as far as, well, you have to look at the stacking lanes, but there's only so many vehicles you could fit before you block an intersection there. So, I guess I'm not sure why that ended up the way that it did, but that
So-
driveway to Tractor
So
Supply,
they didn't have to put a light.
Opposite of the, off the lawn.
it doesn't flush up
Yeah,
with
it's not-
Walter
yeah,
Long
it's
Road.
not-
It's
Mm-mm.
offset.
Which is why there's been, I know of at least one accident in that area because of that.
But wasn't there some of that land over by Tractor Supply that the easement belongs to the
Federal government.
On your mining thing, they went to move the pipe over at Scarmazy's, they hit a mine void.
Yeah. It's under mine too.
yeah.
Montour 10.
But that
It's
federal
no
easement, you
secret.
can't build on it.
No.
So they couldn't put the driveway or the
Is that
entrance.
why? Because of the easement?
Yeah, I think so. That's what the paper said anyway.
Plus the Kirshner, after because I've been around here. I
I know.
wasn't here when Montour 10, mined that, but, Kearns, the original farmer, he had a mine there too. So whether he mined it for his house coal or whatever, he took a little more too. Hey, have fun. They should have hit coal, strip mine coal further up on that hill. And everybody says no. Well, damn it, if there is, but, you know, that's their business. I can't fight them, they got too much money.
Well, let me ask a question.
Sure.
This area between, on 88 where it says State Route 88, 33-foot right of way, and the roundabout
Yeah.
down there. Is that all part of the Mineral Beach purchase? Why can there not be a road put there as a second?
They're-
I don't
They're
I don't understand why they don't use the road that's been used for 100 years.
Their property line there ends at that cul-de-sac, that bold line.
Take that
Um,
road on, you gotta pay less
this
money for the
here.
property.
That's the extent of what they own.
It comes out by the beach house.
I know,
So they actually,
I know.
That would
So
be the
they
they don't
normal
have any
place to
frontage
come
on.
out.
If they wanted to pay for it,
Makes sense.
So you have to, they have to come through the.
Think about it.
the property.
Okay, makes sense.
I know it's not a recorded, maybe it's not a recorded right away, but the usage has been as such.
but it's a piece of property that somebody can sell if they want to.
It was only subdivided last year.
They changed it last year.
They subdivided it last year. Used to be all one piece of property,
Mhm.
so 22.
They had meetings about it.
All right, so we have this presentation been made by TJ without any appearance of Chris Ham on behalf of BDH, on behalf of owner.
Correct.
So,
They-
I know it's like Camp Township, if you're the owner of of a project and you don't show up, we just table it.
Well, that's what we
We
did.
dismiss it.
That's what we're gonna do.
For what it's worth, I did hear from Kevin Braun today via email
Two
with,
threats.
stating his displeasure. So,
Oh, boy.
No, you could disclose, never mind, that's it.
I guess I'll leave it at
I'll
that.
tell
So
you.
what is your recommendation? You're the engineer, what, you review the plan.
I would not recommend approving this without resolution of the comments presented in our letter.
And some of these things could be
Some things are procedural and could be addressed
corrected.
relatively easily. Others are major concerns. I mean, Walter Long Road is a major concern. The procedural process that was followed in terms of the conditional use and the lot density is a concern. The turnaround is a concern. The easements are a major concern. So I guess
So you
the
make,
gas lines are a major concern. I think there's a lot here that I have some,
So
grave
if we-
concerns with.
if you would approve, if the planning commission would make the recommendation to approve this subdivision, what are you gonna call it? To the township. And the township would go along with this, there's issues concerning the easements, all that. I mean, there's no way, you can't approve the lot, sit here, because you have easements for utilities and for power, correct?
Right.
I mean, these are things that should have been addressed. Because otherwise, if we would approve the subdivision the way it's, or the drawing the way it is, and basically they start building on it, they would come back and say, well, you approved this.
Yep.
And then basically, you should have known better not to approve it, now we're stuck with it. So these things need to be rectified. Some of these things are minor, they could ask for waivers.
Yeah.
But
They
the
can
main
post
thing
a
is.
bond, they can get a
Right.
developer's agreement,
It's
yeah.
developed. So, but the main thing here is you're concerned with the easements as they appear,
Mhm.
with the gas line the gas line situation. You're also concerned with Walter Long Road. Those are the three main issues.
Right.
Am I missing any other main issues?
Yeah, PennDOT approval.
Well,
that's-
that all ties, there's a lot that ties in with Walter Long Road.
And all
Yeah.
that. So you're making a motion
I
to,
think also this, lot sizes.
I have a big, I have 1 acre of land, and I used to love to work in my yard, I have a big rock garden. I really don't want to cut grass anymore.
Why does that sound familiar?
I was just thinking the exact.
I have a John Deere tractor where it's funny. It has a computer screen right underneath the wheel telling me I'm cutting grass.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
No.
I'm assuming his neighbors like the distance, though.
Oh,
You know, and the funny part was I hate cutting grass. I had Denise's husband put in a concrete. I have a big wraparound deck that's huge. I got tired of cutting grass. I had to put a deck. I had to put concrete.
I
deck
know.
Below that, so it cut grass. And I had to
Kenny's
put
talking
concrete
about
patio
you.
on the other side. I've got 4 freaking decks and patios in my house. But I don't cut grass. I don't want to cut grass. I don't want to do that stuff.
He said your place is awesome, by the way.
Ooh,
Ken did.
It's
Tom Mueller, she works with the
It's livable,
conservation
right?
commission, and it's all-
Now, that bridge that's on Walter Long, we would inherit that, correct? That's
Of course.
what They are proposing that we
Mm.
inherit Walter
Well,
Long.
So that's
you
for
don't
their
wanna
state
take
permit.
over that road until it's brought up to township specs.
Right.
In that bridge, we have in Canton Township, we have 2 bridges, one called Airport Road or something, another one.
Right.
Those bridges, if you're gonna take that road over, you're gonna want to make sure that there's a study done about the bridge. If they have to update it, that they do on their own
Right.
dime.
Right.
There's no reason why the taxpayers should pick up the cost of it.
Agreed.
You know, and I always hear this call, this goes back to previous, they say about how much money you're gonna make off of these developments.
Yeah.
You end up spending money, and you do get money probably 30, 40 years down the road, but a lot of times,
So long.
it's not a boondoggle as they tell you. You know, but that's, so basically, the engineer is requesting that his suggestion or recommendation, you do not approve the what do you call this thing again?
That's what he asked.
I've been quoted.
Mineral Beach
Reaffirm.
subdivision plan.
Reaffirm it, reaffirmation of the Mineral Beach subdivision plan number 1.
Okay.
Based upon issues with Walter Long Road.
Am I supposed to be writing this?
Is Diane, is Diane to your does Diane, I could,
I didn't.
no.
She'll ask her if she needs something.
Diane.
She
Well, we
does,
could,
No, I did the minutes.
Okay.
she does the minutes, but at least she can go back.
All right, so a motion
Diane.
not to recommend approval. It's dictated as a mediation, as dictating to people there what to do. A motion not to approve Mineral Beach subdivision plan number 1. Subdivision plan review / reapproval. Based upon, see, I dictate all day long, by the way. Based upon the recommendation of the township engineer, as to those items set forth in his letter of November 8th, 2023. With special attention as to ownership of Walter Long Road, comma, status of easements
Yeah, private easements, yeah.
for the,
Communication tower.
I watch it, I get it, I have it,
Okay.
when I dictate, I watch because I'm watching her.
Yep.
As the communication tower and electrical easement and, no, sorry, comma, flood prone area demarcation, comma, gas, utility, location of gas utility lines, correct?
Alignment, yeah.
Comma,
Common area, common open space.
Yeah.
common open space. And what else? What else is salient?
Did you say Walter Long Road?
We talked about what else.
Okay, then I think that's the major item.
And,
Performance,
no, that's something we,
that's, okay.
I think that's about it, period, okay? So that's the
Escrow.
motion.
did they ever get an escrow yet?
That's all I do.
They don't have one yet.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna repeat.
No,
We're
it's
paying you, they're
already
not,
said.
because they don't have an escrow. Do you understand what I meant?
I understood what you
Okay.
meant.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Just like we paid Harshman, because they didn't have an escrow.
All right, there's been a first and second made to not, for the motion that's been stated by Dr. Canadian, seconded by Larry Brager. Is there any question, comments on that motion? You gonna do a roll call vote?
All right, roll call, John Parzan,
Yes.
Donna Sapka.
Yes.
Mary Brager.
Yes.
Lori Kennedy, yes.